Gentleman yields back. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Carbajal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to all the witnesses being here today. We hear a lot about Golden Dome, but there doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of clarity on what the point is. You know, it reminds me of that commercial, that Wendy's commercial, where's the beef? And so it seems that, you know, a concept has been thought of, which has been thought of before in the past, and it seems that we're going about it in a way, backwards way, to fill this system eventually. General Guillot, Collins, and Gainley, how is the concept of Golden Dome different than our current missile defense architecture? And did any plans exist to develop space-based capabilities for both missile tracking and missile interception prior to January 2025?
Congressman, I think the big difference that you'll see is Golden Dome takes all of the existing requirements that we had, but for the first time integrates multiple layers into one system that allows us to detect, track, and defeat multiple types of threats that affect us in different domains with one system. So while a lot of the components and the requirements were there in the past, this is the first time that it's all tied together in one system. And yes, there were certainly space-based ability to detect and track prior to this.
Congressman, to build on General Guillot's response, the architecture plan that a Missile Defense Agency had before January of 2025 included a space layer for hypersonics and ballistic missile tracking and discrimination as we move forward, and most of the other components and pieces, parts of what the executive order included were part of the architecture plan that we were going to get after. I think maybe the biggest impact of this activity is it will accelerate many of those options. Quicker resources, the schedule was pretty long to get to some of these activities. The space-based interceptor piece was not in the architecture plan as we were before January 25.
Great.
In Congressman, the only point I will add that wasn't covered by General Guillot and General Collins is the executive order also called out left of launch missile defeat. I think that's an important aspect of missile defense that has been neglected to date, and focusing capabilities and efforts towards the attriting of a missile force prior to launch is an important aspect of the holistic missile defeat program. Thank you.
Thank you. General Collins, can you give us an update on the hypersonic and ballistic space sensor HBTSS program and what we have learned from the prototype demonstrations? What is the current plan to develop an operational constellation beyond the prototype stage? And how do adversaries' growing counter-space capabilities influence MDA's view of the appropriate mix of space-based and ground-based sensors in missile defense?
Thank you, Congressman. So first off, HBTSS, it was launched in February last year on Valentine's Day. We quickly had our first hypersonic testbed test in June, and then we had one later in the year. And both of those were very successful. The three main objectives of the HBTSS prototyping were to show that we could have the appropriate sensitivity in orbit to see a hypersonic vehicle throughout its entire flight, to be able to have the quality of service, the accuracy of a track, to be able to close the fire control loop, and for that data to come down and enter the command and control system fast enough, so latency. And we have had 2 hypersonic testbed flights, as well coincident with another flight test that we did just a month and a half ago, taking a look at SM6. We also had HBTSS in view, and it tracked that new hypersonic target that was used in that test very well. And so we have proved out the capability to get after the accuracy, get after the latency. We are tweaking the algorithms to improve our quality of service, but we see it as a very successful demonstration of that capability. We have been partnered with the Space Development Agency all along. They have been tracking and part of our HBTSS development, and they have our requirements and plan to integrate that capability, that level of requirement and tech into the proliferated warfighter space architecture and build that up over the coming tranches to give us eventually a global capability to track hypersonic weapons. Your last question, sir, was?
I'm out of time. If you could
Gentleman's
answer
time
that
has
for the
expired.
record, that would be great afterwards.
Will do, Congressman. Thank you.
Thank you.